I have a very important question.
You want to go with? That's it?
Oh my god, an incel. Jesus.
Okay, let me finish. Let's say you're forced into a human centipede. You are the middle, you have no choice in this. What you can choose is who is behind and who is in front of you. Your choices are from mom and dad. Who do you choose?
I choose to fucking nuke your entire country, you brown, savage, disgusting animal.
This is the important question.
What the fuck?
Why is that okay, Brittany? Why do you not mute?
That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me out.
Hey, shit, man! Oh, you heard me!
That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home.
Now you know what's going on behind the scenes.
To let me out. Oh, just let me out. That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me out. Fuck all that shit, just let me go.
Yeah, broadcasting live from Heart of Europe. This is the most badass YouTube broadcast out of the known land. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Tommy C. This is Shot from the Point, and I have a very special guest today, the very beautiful and wonderful Stardust, who I'm talking to for the first time ever. Up and coming streaming powerhouse, right?
Yep. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks. I do appreciate you being on. So, how does you've been making? I mean, I gotta be honest with you. Everybody talks about you offline. They have nothing but wonderful things to say. Everybody likes you. Everybody loves you. No, everybody's pretty much impressed. You've made waves, really not only in my small community, but they seem to be breaking through on Twitch as well. With what would you call your community? I mean, we're kind of talking about that offline.
What would I call my community? I would say it's a very diverse group of people, and they're toxic at the perfect times, I guess.
Possibly. Well, I was thinking about name, drama, the jerk offs. You know,
we haven't really come up with a name.
You haven't come up with the name of the community.
Some of them were trying to say cum heads. I don't know about that one.
I don't know. I wouldn't be into that one. Mine are fuckheads. That's with the whole SFTP going with the. Do you ever notice the WWE or the Major League Baseball or NFL? If it's the NFL universe, where everything's a universe now, and I think YouTubers have and influencers have adopted that as well. Do you consider yourself an influencer?
Maybe in a way, like a small one, a small influencer, but.
A small influencer? What would you like to influence, if optimally?
Well, so there are certain people you'll see start talking about topic, and then that becomes the discourse for an entire week. So I think that's really cool. That's a very powerful thing to do. So.
Oh, no, you're right. So you're sort of like me. You just ride the wave. I mean, I don't make the news or anything. I just sort of comment on it. Whatever's dumb on the internet becomes whatever. And honestly, depending on how big the wave is depending on how I'm going to benefit from it. Tipster, we simp Stardust. Thank you so much, Tipster. And absolutely, I guess it's kind of similar, but I guess you're more mainstream news. Is that inaccurate?
I honestly think. I used to kind of talk about mainstream news, but now it's been more of me arguing with people and then interviewing people and getting thrown into various dramas. So
sort of this right here. I mean, this now what I would consider a famous situation. Who is this guy that apparently got into a big debate with this guy? Who is this guy that said he wanted to nuke your country?
Southern Dingo. Apparently he's pretty well known. So, yeah.
So you I don't know, the way I took this clip, and this is what made me fall in love with you immediately. There was nothing but ridiculousness going on, and you're like, you know what I'm going to do? What do you do when people start just going on and just being openly bigoted and just completely insane? You throw in a human centipede just to make it just that much more ridiculous. Was that the plan, or what were you thinking?
Pretty much. I came in there and it was immediately it was just immediately slurs and immediately insults, and anytime I tried to speak, it was somebody yelling at me. So eventually I just kind of gave up, and I was like, all right, I'm going to ask this really fucked up question. So
what was the reason for that? Why did you just to keep the ball rolling, or were you mad? Were you you don't strike me as somebody who gets angry very easily.
I do, or I don't strike you?
No, you don't. You don't strike me. It
Yeah.
looks like somebody, you have to do a lot to piss somebody like you off. That's my guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's generally true. So I think, I'm not sure. I think it was just like frustration and exhaustion.
And
Just like.
well, it made you a
know,
legend in our side of the community. It was just, it was completely funny. It reminded me of, I don't know, when you put a guy like that on, I mean, especially being on Twitch, are you worried about getting clipped by Twitch? Considering he's like,
Well, so I didn't know that I was walking into that situation. I didn't know he was going to be so TOS.
mm-hmm. Oh,
But it's not like Twitch. It would be really weird if Twitch banned me for getting called a bunch of names, right?
mm-hmm. It wouldn't be unheard of,
really
though.
bad.
It wouldn't. It might look bad, but it's, you know, Twitch is banned. I don't know if I can say this now. I'm worried that you're streaming too. Twitch banned a. There is a name for a raccoon that is commonly said in the
yes.
United States.
Yes.
That is not a racist. It's just literally a shortened version of the word raccoon.
Mm-hmm.
And he was banned for that while telling a story about, get this, a raccoon. This is a very, very powerful streamer that was banned. So
it must
it really
have been mass reporting, because after a certain point, if you get a bunch of mass reports, like it automatically like just bans you, I guess.
I guess, yeah. Maybe you think that was a mass reporting situation?
Yeah, probably. I
More
think
than
so.
likely.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think it's utterly ridiculous today, but I wouldn't put it. I wouldn't put it past absolutely anybody in that situation. Do you have any I guess the thing I don't get, you eventually had a debate with this person, correct?
I did, yeah.
Here's what I don't get about your community or these topics, because I get the impression that you're trying to entertain people at the end of the day. I don't know how important or not important the politics are to you. Like, to me, like, I always see, like, when I was a kid, I grew up listening to Howard Stern, and he had this guy who was a former Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. And Stern used to put him on. He's a Jewish man. His co-host is a black woman. And he would just let this idiot talk. And that's what this guy Dingo reminded me of. It reminded me of the KKK guy. He had an IQ of a hockey puck, but he was hysterical because he had zero filter. And it's funny, people that... you talk like that. It's generally amusing. I think that's why your joke works so much. But the thing that gets to me is a lot of people in your community see themselves as sophisticated, whether they are or they're not. I guess that'd be up to the eye of the beholder. What value do you get by debating and even, let's say, beating, in the eyes of the public, somebody that's barely like a Neanderthal? I mean. Yeah. Like what's the win? I beat a really dumb guy in a debate. I got him. That seems so bizarre to me. It's like, oh, look at me! I got this racist guy. I mean, the guy's an idiot.
I think part of it is it's not just about the guy; it's about the audience as well that's watching that. The Ralph audience who sees that, and they're leveling their own insults at me through super chats or whatever they do. And I think it's important for people to not only see that people can like weather that, but also see like what actual racism really is. Because to be honest, I see a lot of people on Twitch who don't really understand what racism is, don't really understand what like bigotry is. And they make like a mountain out of a molehill, like over the tiniest things.
So you're showing them like sort of racism in its purest form. Do you get the feeling like I do that mountain of a molehill has its sort of own goal too? Because if there's no racism to battle, And that guy's a dime a dozen. To be perfectly honest with you, that particular type of, I guess, profile, for lack of a better
It's the smarter ones that are like more dangerous.
Yeah, I would think so. Somebody that's messing with people behind the scenes, messing with people behind the scenes, and or making decisions that and they're not overtly racist. People are almost the least dangerous of them all, because you can see it on the surface. And I don't think most people are racist. I think it's a minority of people. So when they see something like that, it's just like, oh, that guy's crazy. Do you think? It's funny that you pointed that out. Do you think that a lot of people that want to debate stuff like, I'm not saying obviously not you, are essentially platforming the bigot to sort of boost their own profile and nothing more?
They might be, but there's a lot of people on. There's a lot of people on like the left side of Twitch politics who don't believe in debating and don't believe in platforming anybody who has remotely different views from you. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of anti-deplatforming. I feel like I should be allowed to argue with whoever I want to. And I know that for the average person, they probably don't run into that type of racism very often. Mm-hmm. But if you're like somebody online, you probably are going to get more of it than your peers. If you're somebody like me online, at least. And I think it's important for it's important for other people who maybe aren't involved in this space, but who maybe watch some of what's going on, to see somebody kind of like be able to sit there and calmly take it and not look like they're going to be blown away,
overreact, or virtue signal, or something like that. Yeah, no, because I think that actually is, I think it's a lot more noble to show people what it looks like, rather than being the victor in a battle and look at me, because then it's about you. I defeated the big dumb bigot, and I got my social points for the day, rather than you didn't change anything. There's not one more black guy that has a job. Nothing's changed. You just made yourself feel better about it, and if you're an influencer, so to speak, it's really just about numbers at the end of the day. It's funny that you have the insight. Have you been, even though I'm assuming you consider yourself a liberal, correct?
Yeah, I'm a liberal.
Do you find like a statement, have you made statements like you just made on here before?
I think so. I have.
Has anybody accused you of being right wing for making those statements?
Yeah. I get accused of being right wing all the time.
Yeah. You get all right wing. So. I want to hear people out. That's right wing. Well, why are you disrespecting liberals like that?
I wouldn't they don't call themselves liberal. When I say I'm a liberal, they're like, oh, gross, so.
Oh, you have to be a commie or socialist, right?
You have to be like a leftist of some sort.
A leftist of some sort. What got you into liberal politics? What got you interested in it?
So I've always been kind of politically active. When I was in high school, I would do petitions and things like that, and just little things to be kind of politically engaged. And then I took a break from it for a while. I'm not sure. I think I just started arguing with people, and I had a lot of fun with it. It felt like this is going to sound really silly, but it felt kind of like an empowering kind of thing to do, to like just yell at people online. So yeah, I think that's just kind of what happened.
What is for you? What is something, aside from, the show that is Twitch or YouTube, what is the most important issue to you personally? Nothing to do with politics, BreadTube, liberalism, like what something almost I wouldn't say beyond politics, if it happens to be a political belief personally, but what is the most personal belief that you hold, or virtue you have, that is the most important thing, bar none?
That's a hard question. most important, like a value, I guess.
Value,
Is that
or
what
like
you're saying?
it could be anything. It could be an issue. It could be something like, I don't know, the poverty, racism. Obviously, it could be, something per like a certain ethnic group, a certain bill you want passed, an ideology that you think would help humanity, or something like that. What is the single most important thing to you?
I think probably like healthcare access for people.
Healthcare access.
I think the infrastructure of the healthcare industry is probably, well, we know it's not doing too great right now.
No,
so,
certainly.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty important to me. I don't think you can like really have freedom if you don't have the ability to take care of yourself or treat yourself when you're sick, right? So
the ability to acquire it, not necessarily. The ability to have access, not necessarily whether it's provided or not. If I'm right.
Yeah, the ability to have access of some sort. Yeah.
You sound like a right winger. No, it should be provided. That would be a leftist provided.
Well, I mean, there could be a universal option. I wouldn't
Sure.
be against that,
Yeah,
but I
gotcha.
think there should still be there should be options for everybody. So.
Sure. Where do you think those some of those political views are instilled in your background or anything like that?
I think so. I
Yeah.
think so. I think specifically like the healthcare stuff has always been pretty important to me.
Was your parents in the healthcare industry or?
Yeah.
They're
Yep.
oh.
And I worked a little bit in it as well.
Your dad's a
but,
doctor?
I'm sorry?
Your dad's a doctor?
So my mom is.
Your
yeah.
mom, I knew one of your. I
yeah.
knew it was one of. I flipped on
Yeah.
dad
Good
because I'm
guess.
misogynist. Yeah.
My dad was too, but he like wasn't around for very long. So
Oh, sorry to hear that.
yeah. No, I mean he didn't die. He's just like he's in
Oh,
Texas.
he boogied. Dad boogied on you. And he has a
kind of,
doctorate
yes,
as well.
yeah.
I mean, both of them have doctorates. Both your mother and your father.
They do. Yeah.
So, are you that stereotypical Asian kid with the tiger parents?
I did. Yeah, I did have I had a tiger mom. Yeah.
You had a tiger mom, and now that that's in the rearview mirror, how do you feel about that?
I mean, I probably wouldn't do much different.
So you're all about being tiger mom. It works. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, I was successful at something.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Did you go for a doctorate? Or can I ask you about your educational background?
No, I didn't go for a doctor. I was very, very not typical. I ended up studying music and then design later. And yeah, I was never going to be like a science kid, basically.
You weren't? Yeah. Well, music too. That's left brain orientation, right?
I guess so.
Did you get good grades?
Yeah, I had pretty good grades, I would say.
Yeah. And then, but your goals were more artistically.
I think
and
so.
then you
Yeah.
ended up
I like
on Twitch
to entertain people
with a following.
So,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So, were your parents disappointed when you went sort of the artistic direction?
So I gave my mom like pretty early notice. I was like 12 when I was like, "Hey, I'm going to study music." And she was like, "No, you're going to turn out to be a call girl. You're going to turn out to be a prostitute." All of these things. I'm like, "I'm not going to be a prostitute." So I had to like work pretty hard for several years to make sure that she would like be okay with it.
That you would not be a prostitute because you enjoyed, I don't know, Beethoven or Bach. What kind of music were you interested in?
I ended up doing, well, I was initially I was doing like classical music, but once I got to college, I switched over to like contemporary music. So,
Okay.
but I mean, it wasn't even about that. She was just saying that like, you know, I heard about this one music major who went and became a call girl, became a escort. It was just, I don't know, just a stereotype I guess she had. So
Yeah, I got you.
yeah.
So you had to sort of prove to mom that wasn't going to be the case.
Yeah. I had to work very hard to prove that.
So at 12. So I imagine that was a fight. That's just before high school. So that was a fight all through high school, correct?
It was a fight for maybe like 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
and then And then she just kind of, I think she was on board after 2 years. So I did have to prove I was like competent.
Where'd you go to school, if you don't want me asking?
So I don't know that I want to reveal that.
No, okay, don't. No, I should have said this to you because I've said this to every other guest but you. If there's anything you don't want to, you're worried about getting doxxed or anything like that, just tell me right away. I'm not going to take it personally. Yeah. It was just out of interest. I'm going to get out of what you can, do what I can. If you got a problem with it, just stop me right there. And it's nothing personal. Believe me. Was it was it Ivy League? I think we go that route.
It wasn't an Ivy League, but it was a very politically active school actually. So I guess it kind of makes sense that I'm doing
West Coast
streaming. Yeah.
West Coast.
East Coast.
Oh, East Coast. Where are you from?
Really trying to narrow it down here. Tom.
Yeah, I am. I'm interested. Well, I saw West Coast. I go with that first flash. So, are you an East Coast person, or
yep.
Can we find out
East
where you're
Coast
from?
Person. Yeah.
Okay.
So DC area.
DC area. Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering because I was wondering if you were a little farther north than that, but I don't hear any kind of accent other than what you have. So I'm going to assume.
What about you?
What? I'm from
East
New Jersey.
Coast or West Coast?
I'm from New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
I'm from New Jersey. I grew up like 30 minutes outside Manhattan. So I consider myself a sort of an East Coast guy. Just in Woodbridge, New Jersey. That's where I grew up. If you might have heard of it in the movie Chasing Amy. It's a mall town.
Oh. I love that director.
Kevin Smith. Yeah.
Yeah, I love him. Yeah.
Yeah, he grew up down the shore. He's about a good 45-minute drive from where I am. That's where he grew up, Atlantic Highlands area. Yeah. But he's a shore guy. He's different, and I think he grew up in a better situation. Like he was. I think he was upper middle class, and I think we were flat middle class, like right down the middle. I mean, I can't imagine coming home and saying, "Hey, Mom, I want to make movies." Get the fuck out of here!
Yeah.
You better get a trade, asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a different version of what you got, more than likely. And can I ask you about your background and your ethnicity? Are you a immigrant to the United States?
My parents were immigrants. I was born here. Yeah.
Yeah, and where were they from?
They were from India.
They were from India?
So, yeah.
And did you? You said your dad left. I mean, I guess he boogied.
He was always kind of sick. And he wasn't really a great person. So my parents got divorced because he was very sick, very unstable, and
like not his fault sick. That's kind of how I'm picking up.
Kind of like what?
Not his fault sick. This is a card he got dealt, but it made it kind of.
I don't know. He wasn't a great person either.
Okay.
So,
no matter how to cut
it's a little bit of both. Yeah,
gotcha.
It's a little bit of both. But he wasn't a great person. He was like he's a pretty out there person, and I guess he just ended up like picking up and going to Texas to live with his brothers or something. Really? So yeah.
Well, I grew up. We had a little India where I grew up in Woodbridge. Part is called Avenel, and Indian families getting divorced is unheard of. They stick it out like thick and thin. Yeah. No matter how bad. Yeah. They'll put a smile on as soon as the camera's on, metaphorically speaking, or something like that. Yeah. So, but you're kind of like you had the whole. You had the real American experience, the single parent experience. You're really American.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. It seems like I don't know.
It was better for me, anyways.
You think so?
So yeah.
I mean, things kind of worked out for you. I imagine.
I think it was better for me.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I'm
I think.
Well, I have a different view on single parents. I think it's not a negative. It's not a positive. It's just unfortunate. And I think this it's unfortunate when it happens, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're doomed to be a criminal. But I think when I see, I guess my daughter's growing up in a single parent home. My son is, and there's a very different behavior pattern. My parents got divorced, and I probably would have ended up in my jail if my father my father didn't get custody of me. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I was on the way.
Yeah.
So what are your future goals? Like, what's the plan with this influencer thing? Because nobody, I don't, you don't strike me as the type of person like, and there are people that come into YouTube, come into Twitch, and I'm going to be the biggest streamer. But I would say upwards of 80%, they more have an idea if they get big or if they get a following that sort of pays the bills. It just kind of happens. Mm-hmm. Are you a person that planned this meticulously, or just kind of you walked into it? Are we losing her?
I think you always have to put a little bit of planning into it.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
No, you're fine. I thought we
sorry.
lost you. I don't care. I care more about the audio, believe me. You can turn your camera on and off if you want to. But I didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh no, it's fine. I think some of it is you hoping, but let me turn that off. Sorry.
Sure. You got it. You're good. You're rolling.
Sorry about that. So I think some of it is hopeful thinking, but some of it is like a lot of planning, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to make sure that you're like networking with people, and you have to make sure especially if you're like in the debate sphere. I don't want to look like a fool ever, so
yeah, I imagine that's a constant
some studying
source of
that goes into
paranoia.
it. And just like kind of strategizing content, I guess. So yeah.
But did you think that this would happen? You think you would get to this point? I mean, where you're talking to bigger streamers.
I didn't think that I would get here. Yeah, to be honest with you. So it's been very.
You
surprising.
did it for a goof, and things kind of worked. It is really important on who you know or you run into or who happens. In a lot of cases, it's just who happens to see your content. And if it's somebody that makes a living of it, and they see you as like, wow, I really like what they're doing. This person could help me make money, and in turn, I can help them make money, and that's the way it normally goes. Do you? I can't. Enjoy is a really bad question because obviously, but I mean, I got to be honest with you. I find these like sort of battle royals of debates just empty. I mean, I gotta be honest with you. I really don't get the allure because it feels more like a video game than it is getting to the bottom of anything. That's not necessarily criticism; it's more of an observation. All right, I'm a fan. All right, I'm somebody you want. I want somebody. I want to attract you to your stream. You're donating. Why should I watch you and your style of content?
I think it's exciting. I think the battle royales. I understand that they can be like stressful for the average person, but I think it's really exciting. It's like watching combat without like any
blood sports. They used to have a term for it. It was called internet blood sports on YouTube.
A lot of people really enjoy it. We also have it's pretty much that, but I mean also we have pretty interesting conversations about really uncomfortable topics, and then there's like plenty of memeing that goes on even though we're talking about serious stuff. So I think that it's an exciting experience, and I think I'm pretty funny too. So
you think you're pretty funny?
People should watch me. Yeah.
How would you make me laugh?
I think so. Yeah.
What would you say to make somebody like me laugh?
How would I?
Yeah.
I would probably just ask you like a really fucked up question. Or
ask
something,
me a fucked up question.
In the middle of like a serious conversation.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, like, ask me a fucked up question. I want to see how this works. I want to see what I'm missing because Nick loves this stuff, and I'm just. I'm just not getting it at all. Maybe because I'm a boomer.
Okay. I mean, did you want to answer the human centipede question?
No, because I already heard it, so it's going to be no less shocking.
Okay. If you Let me think on this one. If somebody paid you like $10 million to have sex with your sibling, would you do it? Hello?
No, my sibling's a dude. Of course not. That's impossible.
So you can
No.
you can still you can. What do you mean it's impossible?
That goes
You can
against
still do
God.
it.
That's impossible.
Well, no, it is possible.
No, it's not.
It's physically possible. Yeah.
How much money?
It's possible.
How much money? No,
10 million.
You know, that's the thing. Like 10 million. Like no, because like there are some things that I. Can I answer this honestly? Or maybe I should. No, that's stupid too, though. Answering it honestly, you're supposed to say something ridiculous, right?
No, you should answer it honestly.
Oh, I should answer
should
it
answer
honestly.
it. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I think there's worse things than dying. I really believe that. I know some people don't feel that way, but I do. I believe that there are worse things than dying, and that sounds like one of them. You know, to me. And it's funny. Like I grew up thinking most people feel the same way I do. I don't think that's the case. Dying? Well, pull down your pants, brother. You know, I mean, like no, like I think that's why I'd be no fun for you. I mean, it's funny. I remember I used to get like when I was in, used to go to frat parties and shit when I was when dinosaurs roamed the earth, and like people would ask me these fucking types of questions, and then I would try to answer honestly, and they would look at me like, "You're not supposed to answer it fucking honestly." I'm like, "What's the point of asking it then?" You know. So no, I don't. I'd rather take a bullet in the fucking
No,
skull.
you're supposed to answer it honestly.
Yeah, but how much fun is the guy that says, I'd rather you kill me?
They were doing it wrong.
I would rather you kill me.
It's very fun, actually.
Yeah.
You need a straight man, and you can get several of them. You can just continue to like farm reactions from them, right?
Yeah.
Like, what do you think about public breastfeeding? Do you think people should be allowed to breastfeed in public?
Sure. I mean, I'm a father too. Like that doesn't move. You know what? I think that's another problem too. You know, I've been to Iraq. You know, I have 2 children. I've watched them come out of a vagina. It's not that shocking. It's just kind of life. Yeah. You know, so it's a little tough to get me. I guess sort of shocked in that area.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I'm not trying to.
But what if it was like somebody breastfeeding in public, but it wasn't a human baby?
Like an ape?
Uh-oh.
Right, we can hear you.
Yeah,
yeah, like a kitten or something, like a cat.
So a kitten. You really are disturbing. A kitten was breastfeeding from a human breast. Is that
somebody was trying to breastfeed a cat or something? Yeah.
Well, I'd pull out my phone like most more normal people and say, check this shit out, and fucking try to get a bunch of followers on Twitch. That's the first thing a bunch of followers on Twitter. I guess that'd be the first thing I do.
Do you think?
Well, you know, it doesn't hurt. I'm going to actually think about it because most of you see something like that, I'm just dismiss it immediately. I guess for fun, I'll think about it. Well, they're certainly not hurting anybody. Perhaps the cat isn't getting the nutrients that it should be, considering it's human breast milk rather than their mother's. Could that be a form of animal abuse? I guess we could go that direction, because you can buy cat breast milk at a pet store. You know, powdered stuff, put it in. Kittens are good. I've raised many of kittens this way. You know, when I was a kid. And other than that, I think the woman should be executed. I don't know. I don't know what to think of that. I think about that. That's something I would see passing on some internet forum. You know, like I don't know what to think.
There was a lady who did that on a plane recently. So she
pulled out a cat, and she put it under her breast.
She was trying to breastfeed a cat.
I think that was fake, though.
It's gotta be. I think
they faked it.
How did they get the cat in the plane?
You think they faked it?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because
it was like in a carrier.
The woman doing it actually had like a lot of TikToks about other stuff that was going viral. So they might.
Was she an influencer? It's fake. I tell you right now, man, it's fucking fake. That's pretty. No, but I don't think I'd be uncomfortable with. You know, breasts look awful. I don't know if you know this when they're being breastfed on. You really wouldn't want to look at them. I would hope that women, going back to the baby stuff, would be respectful of people and not, just not take the kid off the breast and then just start talking to somebody like it's no fucking big deal because nobody wants to see your floppy breasts. I mean, do you want to see floppy breasts? I don't. So I think just a little bit of discretion, I think it would be okay. But as far as when you see a woman breastfeeding, you really don't see much unless she goes out of your way to say, hey, look at my nipple. And that I don't find that very disturbing. And you have anything else?
I have no problem with it.
No, not really. I've seen my wife do it 1,000 times.
I would have to think about it really. It's funny because when I ask people about at least the breastfeeding thing, when I ask political people about it, they start freaking out. They start sweating. Then they start asking me, did the cat consent? And when do we ask animals or babies for consent for anything?
No,
right?
No, cats don't need consent for shit. They're animals.
Yeah. Do you ask consent to keep your animal in your house, your pet animal in your house? So.
Yeah. I think a psychological evaluation might be due. I think that's fair to say, right?
For me?
No, for anybody breastfeeding a cat, a human woman breastfeeding a cat, I think it'd be okay to, maybe get not authorities, but maybe some help.
That's a lot of money, I guess.
Thank you so much. Are we having a connection issue in here, Matt?
I can hear you.
We might be lagging a little bit.
Might be lagging a little bit.
Let me turn off my.
Oh well, that'll do it.
I'll turn my video off.
You know what I'll do? Let me
Yeah.
check my. I'll lower the birth rate just slightly, and then hopefully that'll help a little bit too. All right, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yep.
All right, that sounds a lot better. Do you have any more cool questions? Maybe try to make me uncomfortable.
I guess if somebody, so you know how they're developing at-home labs where you can grow your meat, and it's basically it's lab-grown meat that you can have at home, and you can basically you do it with your own DNA, so you'd be eating yourself, right? So would you try that?
No, absolutely not.
Why not?
It goes
That's
against
so
God.
cool. You wouldn't want to try what
I'm going to use the argument
like?
that nobody that has an argument has. I'm going to say it goes against God. No, I don't think I would do that. That's something about consuming your own. I don't piss in my mouth. Why would I do that?
Well, I mean, it's just like meat, so.
Yeah, but meat is flesh.
Yeah, and.
No, I mean, I don't. It's consuming human flesh. I mean. That's repulsive. What if I get a taste for it and I start killing people like a serial killer?
Well, you don't have to kill people because you.
What if it have it as some kind of reaction? This is you're kind of opening doors here. Once that door is open, you don't know where it's going to go.
You never know when the hunt begins.
You don't know.
You might get a taste for the hunt.
Yeah, you might get a taste for the hunt. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. So if you've had pork, you probably already had something that tastes very similar to human meat.
That's what human meat tastes like.
Apparently, that's what.
How would you know that?
Well, I read about it.
Oh.
Yeah.
You read about it? Have you never clubbed anybody over the head and then
No, I've never eaten another human.
Because that guy Dingo would have been right about you with the whole savage thing if that was true.
Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No. That.
Sorry about the connection issues, by the way.
Yeah, no, it's not a problem at all. I can still hear you. I guess I sort of want to be shocked and appalled by you.
Shocked and appalled.
Yes, I don't know. It really make me uncomfortable.
People really don't like that from me, though. I feel, I feel like people really, they want me to be nicer, I guess.
That sounds pretty boring, though. That sounds
it
pretty
might
good.
be like a sexist thing. I
Yeah,
don't know.
no, it might be. I want the girl I fantasize about all night that I watch on stream. I wish she was nicer to me, you know, because I would imagine at this point you have a bunch of fans like that are just completely head over heels in love with you. I imagine you experienced that already, correct?
They haven't really expressed it that way. I make
Really?
it very clear that it's platonic. You know,
You make it clear. No. You make it. Of course, it's platonic. You're fucking somebody on Twitch. How do they feel?
Well, look, they don't come at me like that. Okay,
Nobody's come at
if
you
you're
like
jerking off to me, like, don't tell me. I don't want to.
Don't tell me.
Like,
has anybody come out and said, "I am in love with you. I want to take care of you. You are a beautiful woman. I can't get you out of my mind." I imagine there's been some instance that's akin to that.
I have stalkers sometimes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Will stalk. Yeah, but Wild Man is married. Wild Man is not in love with me. He's married and he just does a bit. That's
Like married, but I'm talking like a legit one, not somebody that I have callers that do a bit too. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Anybody has anybody scared you yet?
So a few years ago, I used to stream music stuff before I got into the politics thing.
Yeah.
And one of the people who used to watch me found my Instagram and messaged me that a picture I'd posted recently made him get a hard on. So I didn't like that.
I bet you didn't like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's not too bad
Yeah.
though. I mean, that's just like creepazoid stuff. That's not like
That's when you send them the PayPal.
It's not like I want to taste your DNA flesh and grow it in my fucking kitchen. Bad, you know. I mean,
Wait, why is that bad?
It's terrible.
That actually sounds
human
really
flesh.
romantic in a way.
To
Like,
eat really?
You can grow your partner's DNA and they grow your DNA and you both there's something closer than sex now. It's eating each other's flesh.
Jesus, you're scaring the hell out of me. That's like a serial killer's talk. You know, how about we just get? I don't know. I want fashion. You know, I'll go down on the broad. Maybe she give me a blowjob in exchange. I mean, really. You know, I don't have to grow any DNA for Christ's sake. Maybe I could grow a younger her. How about that? There you go.
And this person's really mad at me.
Hey,
Do you think
if
the most
I could grow
impressive thing-
a woman that's 20 years younger than my wife and I was sleeping with her, is that cheating?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
If I could take the DNA and grow a woman that's like 20 years younger than my wife, in other words, she comes out and she's 20 years old. Now, if I sleep with her, am I cheating on my wife? Not really, right?
If she's like the same DNA. as
Yeah,
your
same
wife.
DNA. It's just like she comes out, she's 20 years old and ready to fuck.
That's a lot of money, I guess, for a person.
That's not
of color.
cheating. Something tells me, though, if I was using that argument against a woman, as much sense as it might make, I think she would reject that.
I think it's cheating.
You think it's cheating?
Yeah.
You're clearly a right-wing wacko if you think that.
Yeah, I'm right. Yeah, definitely.
How would you feel if you're significant? I don't want to ask you. That's one question that I promised myself I wouldn't ask you because it's like, is a death sentence on Twitch if you have a boyfriend? Is that true, you think?
I don't have a boyfriend.
I don't believe you. I gotta be honest with you. I don't believe any woman on Twitch that says you don't have a boyfriend.
Stream. I don't. It's not like a get out, so
Yeah.
I'm on my computer all the time.
Yeah. Sure. It's not, well, I guess COVID's different now. Maybe you're telling the truth because the last 2 years COVID's been nuts. It could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you had lots of interesting questions? Have you had problems with men relating to men with this type of job or are you interested in men? I don't even know.
I think about maybe I should, get back into the dating scene, all that. And then I think about, well, what am I going to tell them that I do for a job?
I have that problem.
And then I think about it. Okay, I'm going to tell them I stream on Twitch, and the first thing they're going to ask me is if I have an OnlyFans. Like that's what I think about.
If they ask you for you have an OnlyFans, that's like I think that's actually a good thing because now you know not to date this person
money,
again.
I guess, for a person.
If that's the
of color.
first thing out of their mouth, and you know what you do? You do what I would do. Like, yeah, I do. Will you send it to me? Absolutely, and never call them back. Me, Jessica, what did Jessica Pizzle say?
Me and my sister are the same DNA. It's cheating. You don't get to sleep with a girl and her identical twin.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. If I was married to a twin, can I bang your sister? No, it doesn't work. I knew.
Somebody
I know.
in
There's no
chat
woman on
says
earth.
Star is borderline incel at this point. I don't know that that's true. But,
I don't think so.
geez.
Yeah, but you got it. Like, here's the thing. Like, even if you're telling the truth right now, I wouldn't believe you because you kind of have to keep that image up. I mean, did you see how Pokemon protected her? The fact that, I mean, she probably has a boyfriend. I mean, look at her, for Christ's sakes. Or better yet, let's say you're not dating somebody. Will you be afraid if you have a significant? The only streamer I know that had a following was Jessix, and she told people she was getting married. You know, and I don't know if I never asked her a personal question as far as like, did that affect your money? But I bet it did at some level. You know, people want the fantasy. You know.
I don't think. See, like because I started in the politics space, I don't know that it would affect
you
that
as much.
To be honest with you.
No, that'd be interesting to say. Yeah. So, would you turn down a guy because, like, I don't know, affect my streaming career? If you had feeling, or just not follow up something, you think?
No. So I really don't think it would affect me too much because I really don't think it would because of the politics. I just don't think that they work like that.
Who's the other girl? The one that the girl with Tourette's. She has a boyfriend. She's been open about it.
Anita.
Mm-hmm.
What's her name?
Anita.
She has some interesting streams though. I used to watch until she went nuts a couple months ago. That's when I stopped listening to her. But she said, and let me run this by you. She didn't say it like this is sexist. He says this is reality. He says when you're a male streamer, you want to be toxic, but not so toxic that you're going against TOS. So you go against the grind. And he goes, but when females are toxic, like when females are on, you're kind of like nobody wants a toxic woman because the fantasy is this is my girlfriend, this is who I'm dating, whether it's subconscious or not. Whereas like the guy on Twitch is my bro, so he can be as toxic as he wants because it's just bros being bro. Whereas women, if they enter that space. They can't be that edgy or anything because then it's like you screw up the girlfriend fantasy. Do you think that's true? That's kind of a facsimile of what she said.
I don't think so.
Really?
Well, for other Twitch streamers, yeah. For other Twitch streamers, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I think because I'm in the politics sphere and because everybody on the left is constantly trying to cancel each other, that it wouldn't matter too much for me anyways. People openly have said that Stardust, she has a very toxic community.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're that toxic, but I'm not going to like censor my chat, not that much. I don't want a hug box in my chat.
Gotcha.
And I just wanted to start if I start at the edge, then nobody's going to be that surprised if I'm doing edgy things, right, and saying edgy things. So, yeah.
If everybody on the left's trying to cancel each other, why do you hang out with them? That doesn't sound like much. Or do you just like the pressure of maybe even getting canceled yourself?
I don't really hang out with them. I just share the same political space, I guess.
You find that disturbing?
Not really.
Take this entire into ideology and but not to say that people on the right don't do it. They do. They do it a little differently.
They do it too.
Yeah, they do it too. But I mean, I think we both can agree it's a lot more prevalent on the left than it is the right. Would you agree with that statement? That doesn't spooky because, like, I mean, when I see something like that, I start to think, well, maybe something wrong with the core of the ideology if it's breeding that.
I don't see. The thing is, I think a lot of these people who are on the left who are all about canceling are not like very well mentally. So really? I try not to pay too much attention to those people. Sure. I do that's the more edgy.
That's interesting. What do you think's wrong with them? Just in your approximation, why do you think they're not well mentally?
I don't know, really, to be honest. But I feel like I can't tell you what it is exactly. I just know a lot of people are very unhappy in their lives and they need to act out online to feel like they're in power.
Have you seen this recent clip of this woman without a mask on an airplane yelling at an 80-year-old man to put his mask on? Have you seen that?
I've not seen that. That sounds ridiculous.
It does sound ridiculous, but that's the vibe I got when I was watching her. Not only did she not have a mask on, she spit in his mouth, struck him, and then hit one of the airline attendants. She's looking at time now. Like, my mother was an airline attendant. You hit an airline attendant, you might be doing some federal time.
Yeah.
And this one was younger. I'd say no older than mid-30s. And she turned around, and here's the best part. The guy wasn't one of these like right-wing jerk-offs that take off their mask and say, "Fuck you, man, freedom." He actually took off his mask, which you can do in the airplane, to eat. And if you're done eating, you're supposed to put it back on. She turned around while he was eating. And to me, the vibe I got, this is a power thing. And she got in range when he wasn't intimidated, and he just told her to go fuck off. And the whole thing just sped completely out of control. Because it felt like sort of, I was watching sort of cancel culture sort of take place in real time when I saw this particular video.
Yeah.
Do you want to see it?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, let's see. This is really, this is amazing. Can you find that, Matt?
Yeah, I think
Fire that over to me.
This neon person in your chat really is, can I respond to your chat?
Neon North, Stardust, you condone someone like Dylan Burns existing. If you don't condone, I guess you wish they were murdered? Go ahead, please.
Yeah, what kind of question is that? Well, I was going to more respond to them. They're saying, like, do you think the most impressive thing that ever happened to you, being a racist tirade, might have something to do with woman brain? I have no idea why you think that that's the most impressive thing that's ever happened to me. It's really, like, it's not. It's just another day, my dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you think maybe you might attract those types because you didn't give... well, actually, if you gave a kind of a visceral reaction, you probably attract more of them. But you think also by... you handled that situation like perfectly, and you made it really comedic for everybody else. But it also puts a bullseyes in your back. It's like, can we get this girl to freak out and cry? Can we get this person to blow up or have like an Anna Kasparian moment or something like that? You think it's like a challenge now, right? But you don't. I get the feeling you got a really not dangerously low heart, but a lower heart rate just by talking to you.
Actually, my heart rate has always been like typically pretty high.
I'm really? That's surprising me. You? I can't see it.
Yeah.
You see,
it happens when I turn off the camera. I start freaking out, but
you feel
not over things like that.
You feel more comfortable on camera than off?
I think so. Yeah.
Wow. That's just Merry New Year to you too, Carlito. Thanks so much for
it's in your DMs, Tom.
It's in your DMs. Yeah, I'd like to watch this with. I definitely like to watch this with.
That's a lot of money, I guess.
Because
for
it really
a person
is
of color.
like amazing. Thank you again, Carlito. All right, can you see everything right here? Oh no, you sure? Of course you can't. I didn't put it on yet. All right, you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Can you see me?
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, put your fucking mask on. Who invited you to come
I'm eating, and I can...
drink your ass up? Don't you dare talk to me like that.
God damn it.
You stand, you're standing in step one. Stand your ass up. Stand your ass up.
Sit down, Karen.
Karen?
You're a goddamn Karen.
No.
Sit down.
No.
Sit down, Karen.
Sit down, pussy.
Pussy, no, you're the pussy.
Oh, no, you're the dick.
Do you want the police to meet you on the ground?
She's quite an attractive woman, isn't she? Supposedly she's an ex-Raiderette. You know that?
What's a Raiderette?
I don't know what that is.
Cheerleader for the Raiders football team.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She's good looking, man. I'd say mid-30s.
Yeah.
Mask up.
Put your mask
Mask up. Tell him mask up. Tell him
You got your mask down, bitch.
Sir.
Boy, that's an 80-year-old man calling her bitch.
Yes, I did.
Smacked him. Yeah, you just.
You're going to jail.
I don't know if people don't know that, man. You put your hand on somebody in a plane, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You're going to jail, bitch. Karen. Hey, spit on me. Now you're double going to jail, bitch.
See him again.
You fucking piece of shit.
Piece of pussy, sit down, Karen.
Fucking
Sit down, Karen. Sit down, fucking Karen. Look, she punched me.
Put your fucking mask on. Tell him.
Look at her. After all this, she's being dragged to getting her biggest goal here is to get him to put his mask on.
To put his mask on. Put your fucking mask
my street. She scratched my face. I want her the fuck
Put
out
your
of here.
fucking mask on! Put your fucking mask
Put
on!
yours on, bitch.
I will put my mask on. I will put
wonder
my
what's
mask
wrong
on.
with her.
Put your mask on.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything. I think it's mental illness. It's got to be.
Yeah.
Got to be. I mean, look at everything that's going on. Look at the consequences she's facing. She obviously keyed in on this guy. I think she, if I had to guess, she put him on a hand that he'll capitulate if I yell at him, and became almost offended that she didn't, and then just kept, raising the stakes and doubling down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think this is obviously not every left winger. I'm not, but I think this is what you're seeing, that sort of cancel call. You're seeing it in real time right here. This is seriously mentally ill person.
The majority of people are not like that. It's just like this loud minority of people that are really annoying, and then they try to come at me with trying to accuse me of being like platforming fascists or being friends with Nazis, and then they try to say that I'm like bigoted because of that, or I'm spreading bigotry. I have more labels than these people do.
You saying something like that? Don't you think at some level that's about control of you?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. They're trying to control, and it's just like if you. I don't think you want to play Oppression Olympics, like it's one, it's super fucking lame, but two, like
well, that's funny. That's funny. When
I don't know.
I don't know if you're familiar with the Tim Pool, the rugged man. And I consider myself more of a right-leaning guy. Tim Pool had this big argument with this rapper called the Rugged Man, and they both got into the Oppression Olympics. It just took the debate. It looks stupid, but I think they both look stupid at the end of the day. Rugged Man being much more stupid because it was. No matter what you showed, I don't believe you. I mean, I don't know how you debate somebody. Well, I don't believe what you're saying. Well, here it is. I don't believe that shit. I mean, there's more of a point in debating the guy you debated than somebody's going to say that. But I think the biggest mistake he made, and I think it's because he was personally offended, was to get, well, I have it tough too. And then what does that mean? How does that change the, he may have, he may not, he may be lying about it. It doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
Well, I'll leave you with this. What are your goals for the future? What's your big plan, or do you even have one?
I think that I have like a pretty unique blend of memes and actual politics. So I think that continuing that and continuing to just talk with people, have good open conversations with people, have a thriving panel show.
I think you'll be a right winger in 2 years.
I'm sorry?
I think you'll be a right winger in 2 years.
I don't know. They've been trying to convert me for a while.
I don't think no one will be able to convert you. You come to it on your own. In fact, the more people try to convert you, the less you'll take to it. There'll be an incident, and then you just throw in the towel, and then you'll still be a liberal, and it just will melt away. There's got to be an incident, though.
It's like a fiscally.
Like that moment with that alcoholics point. I think that's happened. People go to liberal. Something really horrible happens to them from right wing person or something like that. I think that's how you push people towards that. But I think, it's like that moment of clarity that alcoholics have. Just in a political sense. I think my prediction is somebody that you consider a friend that ideological on there is going to screw you, and it'll slowly melt away from there because any Twitch, YouTube, there are just the problem with this. Keemstar told me this a long time ago. He says the real way to move up is this: you collab with somebody, you start drama, but you make it look like they started the drama first. Mm-hmm. And if you can successfully do that, you take their fans because they're now the bad guy, and you move up, collab with somebody else, do it again. And it happens at Twitch too. Whoever can make the other guy out, they'll be looking at a bad guy. There's probably ways to do it, not to do it like that, but that's the fastest way to do it.
Yeah.
And especially in your space where it's like you said, everybody's trying to cancel each other. And by canceling each other, I get a known moment there. That means I'm the better debater. You got to watch me then, man. That's mine. Well, I do wish you luck.
Thank you.
Like I said,
Can I
everybody
ask
loves
a
you.
question?
Everybody loves you. I mean, I hear nothing but good things, and I'm
you.
gonna give your
appreciate
content a good old college try. Even though
You mind if I ask Stardust a question, Tommy?
Sure, not at all.
Stardust, would you rather have one leg or one eye?
One leg or one eye?
Yes.
I have a staff member with one eye and a staff member with one
eye.
leg. One eye. Really?
You'd rather have one? Yes. Yes. Good answer.
Poor toxic
Well,
Piplup.
I want to be able to walk.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Take that, toxic Piplup.
Yeah. I have a staff member with one leg and one eye. Well, with he's Matt's missing a leg.
I'm missing a leg. The other guy's missing an eye.
Public and
Oh, so you guys are doing actual oppression Olympics?
yeah,
then.
no, it's no. He's trying to like, hey, my disability's way cooler than yours, motherfucker. You know, it's more like that.
No, well, it's like I
It's
would
not-
rather have one eye than one leg. So
Really? Yeah,
toxic
imagine.
Piplup would rather have one leg than one eye. So
Really?
it's kind of like we're going back and forth. So Stardust.
You know what? His Toxic's probably
eye.
really, really fucking lazy, and he's figuring like somebody would push him around with a wheelchair and he had both eyes. That's probably what.
Yeah.
that's.
I just
lazy.
want to jog, bro.
Well, one of our guys is one of our staff members has a muscle disorder, and he's in a wheelchair, unfortunately. So would you exchange?
that.
But he has both his eyes and both his legs.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that works. And then yeah, we have two disabled, like both. Speedy can't walk either. Yeah, we've had. Yeah, this whole
we're
crew's
very,
like falling the fucking apart. For Christ's sake.
We're holding on for dear life.
I can't believe it took us this long to have a death. For Christ's sake. It's finally somebody died. Yeah, we
Wait,
lost.
are you saying I'm gonna die?
No, we lost somebody recently. It was a really
I was
tasteless
just-
joke.
Oh.
We
No,
lost somebody definitely recently. I mean, we got like we got 15 people or something, like 15, 16 people. It was bound to happen eventually, but
Yeah.
we lost somebody who's 35, and he was one of the first hosts on the show. Yeah, it really sucks. But he'd
so
get the
young,
joke.
yeah.
He was funny.
Sorry.
Like that. What's that? It's all right. I don't know. It doesn't. I don't know. I can't believe I went on that spiel. I guess that shit's. I've been working on that vid. We're giving him a tribute video. I've been working on it all fucking day, and it always just depresses the shit out of me. Don't forget Jeff's disability is a big chin. Yeah, Jeff has a really big chin.
He's got a big chin, but he looks great, so who cares?
Yeah, he's got a great body, but his face is kind of fucked up though. His big chin.
He can get by with that.
Yeah. I would rather have a big chin than one leg. You know.
Yeah.
You know. Again, Stardust, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on. That was very, very kind to you, and I wish you. Well, that's another one.
Thank you for having me.
Well, thank
Really
you for coming
appreciate
on. Hopefully we'll speak again. And like I said, I'm going to give your content a whole college try and see what I'm missing. I probably should get. Nick's doing good things. I probably should I just don't. I'm not a burning furnace of a. I guess I'm just getting old, and I don't. I'm trying to think. Like, I'm just not ambitious anymore. It's really sad. No,
You should do a panel, though, Tommy, eventually.
What am I going to talk about? I don't agree. I don't know.
Answer the questions. Answer the questions.
Well,
that you
look,
have.
I don't ask exclusively fucked up questions.
No, I know.
It's just the fucked up ones that seem to
Yeah,
stand
but it's
out,
political.
so.
Like, if it's a political thing, I'd want to come in prep because, I'm kind of like you. I wouldn't want to look stupid. And then it seems like such a cop-out if I go into my shtick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, it's not necessarily political either, so.
Yeah.
It's just like, who do you think fights more? Things like that.
Yeah. Well, if you invite me, I'd go. And,
Okay.
yeah, I would. You seem like a very, very sweet, intelligent young lady.
Oh, wow.
I want to hear about your crazy tiger mom, to be perfectly honest with you. I think that would be more funny if like, she chased you up the stairs or something like that.
Okay, what the fuck is a tiger mom?
You don't know what a tiger mom is? It's like an
Somebody
Asian
is
thing.
really strict with their
Great.
kids. Really strict, yeah.
Yeah. You're not allowed to date till you're 18 type shit.
Yeah.
Yep, I was not allowed to date until I was 18, yeah.
Yeah, I dated a girl. I dated a girl like you. And she was
Yeah.
really, really smart, and she when she graduated college, she got smart and got rid of me. So all right, let's end this thing. Thanks so much again, Stardust. Let's end it.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, wait a minute. In about maybe in less time, 30 minutes, we got a double header. We're gonna be talking about the Mama Max video right after this. So stick around. We're coming back.
This is the almighty infinite, independent excellence. Devil fighting, rebel titan, weed smoking alchemist. Fake identities, okay, you cool with Jason Bourne. Running with these Wolverines, okay, you about to catch a storm. I ain't never been a liar, got tired of niggas playing me. Head in my legs like she about to catch a pedigree. Chi-town, the King's.
Remember, we're coming right back. We're coming right back.
6 mile to danger zones, bullets look like waffle cones. Folk affiliated the evolution of Machiavelli. Don't make me lead them eagles to you like I'm Chip Kelly. They feel my struggle, I express it through my hip hop. I'm about to make it hard to breathe. Here's a headline.